So many resellers talk about their death piles of unlisted inventory, and my death pile has always been listed inventory. I have a project that I'm hopefully going to finish up today, finally get caught up, and I'm so excited I wanted to share with you. At the end of the video, I'm going to take you thrifting to a few thrift stores. Hopefully I can find a few good things, and it's going to be a work with me video. So hope you enjoy the behind the scenes footage of this. This is real work as a reseller, and I'm human, I'm flawed, and my inventory system is good, but I've never caught up. I'll explain all the details as I move through. Time to get to work because I've got a lot to do. So what you're seeing me start with may not look yet chaotic, but I have spent the last few months working on about 12 bins full in my office, and these bins out here, which were stacked up, along with about 8 more out here that were stacked up. So I have been slowly but surely making progress on this. The hard thing is that I'm always photographing, always doing hauls, and always adding more to these bins. So I've just never been able to catch up. All right, so basically what I'm working with is this is a bin that goes up here. So I just filled it up. Basically, I just look for bins that have some empty space in them. I grab those and I put some new inventory. Here's my spreadsheet. We have a very, very simple spreadsheet. So it's just the basic description of the item, the size, and then the bin. I have A through Z, double A through Z, and then 1 through 10 as far as my bins. And I used to have it way more complicated, but it just isn't necessary for me to find items. So I keep it as simple as possible. It is very easy. And we have these 3 bins and these 4 to go. Let's get going. So I normally do all my inventory inside. I'll bring some bins from my shed inside and then bring them back out. But because I only had about 8 bins left to do, I just decided to bring my computer outside and finish it up where it was easy to do. What are you doing? You're not very helpful. I know. What are you doing, huh? What are you doing? Are you guarding the shed? Huh? I know. So I've seen a lot of different ways that people do inventory, and while there may be still room for improvement, I've spent over 3 years using this system, and it definitely works best for me. There's an occasional typo or something on my spreadsheet, but that's going to happen with really any system. So I don't necessarily think this would work for everyone, but it's definitely something that I've figured out works best for me. All right, we're making great progress. I'm down to 3 bins. They're not completely full, so we should be done soon. I do want to get another rack for right here, and I also want to get one more rack horizontal right here. I definitely have the space to move around. My personal stuff, I do need to organize, get another rack, maybe find a way to hang my bike. But one thing at a time. I know I've been asked questions about these bins. They hold about 20 to 25 items, depending on the, items. But I'm switching to the white and blue bins. They're a little sturdier. I got them free from a family member. They hold probably about 25 to 30 items, so just slightly taller and more capacity. But I don't use inventory numbers per item anymore. I tried that in the beginning, and I was spending just as much time looking for inventory numbers as it is to most of the time just look for a black item. There's 3 black items. You look for the label. So this is what works best for me. I still do put my items for shipping in the clear poly bags, but I do it right before shipping. Also, if I need to donate items, I haven't spent the time or the poly bag on any items unnecessarily. So this is a Tuff Shed. I'll write down the size on the screen. I can't remember. It does have some windows for light up there, if you can see, and then it also has ventilation on both sides. I've been asked a few times if this storage shed is temperature controlled. It is not. I live in a relatively moderate climate. We don't get extreme heat or extreme cold, so it works for me. I've had it for about 3 years. I've never had any issues with my clothing being stored. I do keep my lids closed to keep the dust out because I do have ventilation in 2 spots. Otherwise, if I have something really high end or a delicate item, I can hang it in my guest closet in my office, AKA my guest room. And yeah, it works for me. It may not work for you in the climate you're in if you have extreme heat or extreme cold, but for me, it's worked out really great. This also was not purchased just for reselling. I don't have a garage, so to be able to use one side for personal use is really helpful. So yeah, let's get back to it. Finished. Let's go thrift. Boo, are you gonna stay here and guard the house? I'll be back. All right, first find of the day is this Acris jacket, kind of a career style jacket. I really like the print. It's a size 12, which is fantastic. So even though the price is a little steep, I remembered that the color of the week for 50% off is green. So I thought that was a really great price. I decided to grab that item to go. I know it's going to be a great day if I find one of my all-time favorite brands, which is Aviator Nation. I didn't know what this tag was. There was no price or anything, but the sweatshirt's in great condition and I was so excited. I rarely find this brand, but I've sold it about 5 times and it usually sells for good money and very quick. All right, I got a couple good things in about an hour at the first store. The Aviator Nation should probably sell between about 60 and 70 if I had to guess right now. And then the Acris is a great size. It's a nice little, cropped coat. I'm probably aiming for about 35 to 45, but I'll have to look up comps for both of those before making any strong opinions. But there's a store right here I'm going to stop at really quickly, see if we can get anything in there. If I don't find much, there's 2 more stores on the way home. And so let's see if we can find any more good things. All right, first up at this store is I found 2 Madewell dresses. This is one of them. The problem with a solid dress like this is usually I get it home and it has some stains. It's also pretty basic, so I definitely wasn't going to grab that. Here's another Madewell dress. This one felt a little nicer and it was new with tags. It was also a size 0. There wasn't a price on it, but again, with the solids, it's just a risky buy and this store doesn't allow returns, so I decided to leave that behind as well. All right, this one was a nice surprise. It was a Kate Spade dress and it was also new with tags. Even though it had the TJ Maxx tag, it also still had a brand tag, so I could have cut off the TJ Maxx tag. Not sure who's buying cocktail dresses right now, but I thought it was a really nice blue until I saw a pretty big stain on the front. So sadly, that also was left behind. It was a little tough for me to finally get the tag on this, but this is a jumpsuit by Prana, kind of this really nice soft chambray material. While I did like it, it was a size small, and again, I was just worried that it might have a spot on it, and because I can't return here, I just didn't think it was worth the risk, so I left it. All right, I picked up this J. Jill dress and was just taking a look at it. It's a nice wrap midi dress, size large, and even though it's fairly basic, it's a really nice classic piece. And I threw it in my basket just in case I decided to buy other stuff. Sometimes I just like to think on things, and even though I'm trying to find higher dollar items this day, I thought I might be able to get about $30 for this. All right, this one looked like a fun one. It's by the brand HD and in Paris, which is an Anthropologie brand. Here's the label for you. It was kind of this ribbed material, and it had this wide leg jumpsuit on the bottom. It had this keyhole on the back, kind of an open back setting. Anyways, really wide leg, super comfortable looking. Sadly, I'm trying to show it. Sadly, I noticed that there were belt loops, and while I can trim those off, I just felt like the style definitely needed a belt, and I just didn't want to sell something that's missing a part. So I decided to continue on my search with looking at dresses, but nothing really stood out. All right, so that store was a bust. So on to another store. I'm not going to spend too much time here today, but I'm hoping to pick up a few things, and I'm really trying to find things that will sell for $30 or more. I put a few things in my cart thinking, well, if I find a few good things, maybe I'll add these in, but they weren't worth picking up on their own. So we're going to go to another thrift store, see if I can find anything there. I have no idea why I started in men's jackets, but I'm just feeling the fabric instead of looking at each label, and I felt this cashmere piece. Sure enough, it's a Loro Piano piece, and men's sports coats aren't my favorite, but for the price, I figured I could at least get somewhere between $50 and $100 for this, so I decided to grab that. I moved over to shoes, and I found this pair of Madewell slides. I thought it was a nice classic piece, some light signs of wear, a little bit of creasing on the top of them, but it was 25% off, and since I was already buying something, I thought I should be able to get about $30 for this, so I decided to grab them. I am always on the hunt for certain items, like specialty niche items. These are rock climbing shoes. I did a little rock climbing in San Francisco, so they stood out right away. I'm not familiar with the brands, but I did look up this brand on the resale market, and it looks like a lot of the comps are between about 40 to 60. I need to do a little more research on this exact pair and see if I can find the style, but I grabbed them. Here's a pair of Merrells, and while I like picking up Merrell sandals and shoes, we're not quite in spring. It was full price, and I just thought it was a little risky, so I decided to leave those. Here's a Diane von Furstenberg jacket. Sorry, the lighting's a little off. It was definitely heavily pilled and just not a really great style, so I left that. This is a cashmere sweater. It was in the women's section, but it's a men's sweater. It was a size XXL, which was really great, and it was kind of a blue-black. Sadly, there was a hole, so I left that as well. What are the odds at a different store to find a size 12 Acris skirt suit? This was a really great pickup. It's got a little bit of an elastic on the front of the waist, a nice career piece. Some of these are selling between 100 to 200, so I'm expecting somewhere between 150 to 200, hopefully. It's probably going to take a while to sell, but I was very happy about this pickup as well. All right, that's it for this work with me. If you like this style of video, be sure to hit the thumbs up. I can definitely share more of my days and just the behind the scenes with you guys anytime. I really had fun with this video, so I hope you enjoyed. And I'm just so excited. I'm caught up on inventory. I want to stay that way. I still have a few more projects I could share as well. But for now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.